Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about PYR and providing a market analysis update, going over some very important levels of support and resistance to watch out for, and in general my market outlook going into the next few weeks and months. So if you're new to the channel and you want to show some support, please do leave a like and subscribe. So first I want to talk about these moving averages. The red one is the 20-day simple moving average and the green one is the 21-day exponential moving average. So together they form this band, and we have just flipped them into support. So it's a very positive and bullish sign. If we go back, basically we've been holding resistance off of these moving averages for a very long period of time. Basically what we've done is we've just come up to these moving averages, rejected, and then form lower lows, right? So we come up, reject, form lower lows, reject, form lower lows, and that pattern just continued and kept putting stress on this downtrend, right? So now we've flipped them back into support. We're above them, and the 21-day exponential moving average is starting to slope upwards. So that is a great sign. We do want to see this continue, and if we're starting to trend upwards, and in the event we correct back downwards, maybe on some sort of dip, we do want to see these hold as support. So if I go back to 2021, just as sort of a case study, we can see in uptrends, we can hold these moving averages as support. So we have an uptrend begin, a new higher high, and then a correction back down. We bounce off these moving averages and then continue, right? We have a support bounce, and we just continued this trend all the way back up until we lost them, and then we flip them into resistance. So very key when we are above them, holding them as support, and instead of rejecting off them in a bearish downtrend, maybe this time we can start this new uptrend, holding them as support, bouncing off them, and holding sort of a new uptrend as opposed to this longer term downtrend. So now I want to switch over to the weekly chart to help identify maybe some potential points of resistance to watch out for in the event that we do form that uptrend and start going back up to some higher valuations. So first, I just kind of want to outline this general zone here with the bottom. If we go back to July of 2021, we can see that was a consolidation and a resistance point. And basically we had resistance in July, we came back above it, flipped it back into support in September. So that was kind of the established zone. And we have the lows being placed off this level in the short term. So that's a positive sign. And I do think this chart kind of warrants some sort of relief bounce. You know, obviously we did have 13 red weekly candles in a row. I do think at some point we are going to be seeing a potential relief rally. And some of the key levels that stand out to me on the weekly chart, again, this $4.40 region. If we go back to August of 2021, we had resistance off this point on the weekly, just kind of consolidating, holding this as resistance. And that is going to be a key level in the event that we're starting to form maybe this uptrend, retesting that level. If we can reclaim that, then my next target is going to be these moving averages. They're the same moving averages as the daily, but this is a weekly time frame. So it's going to be a very key level because, you know, we've basically rejected off these moving averages 3 other times. So we had a key rejection here in January, another one in February, and then this sort of failed break above them in April. So if we're starting to come back above these and retest them, it's going to be a very key retest. Can we reclaim them, hold them as support? And in the event that we can do that, then we can start looking at some higher valuations a little bit later on. But obviously we got to play it level to level. We got to see if we're starting to do that, then we can target some of those higher valuations. But if not, if we start to reject, then the possibility that we don't have a low in place is a little bit more likely, right? We might start consolidating. We might have a retest of these lows, maybe a double bottom, but we're going to have to wait and see going into the next few months, can we reclaim and retest these, and what happens when that happens, right? So now I want to switch over to the PYR Bitcoin chart, and I think this is going to be a very key ratio going forward into the next few weeks because this is going to tell us how strong is the USD pair with respect to Bitcoin strength. So if Bitcoin is starting to move up, but PYR is going sideways, that's going to lead this chart down, and that's not what we want to see, right? We want to see PYR outperform Bitcoin on some sort of bounce, maybe back up if Bitcoin goes to 28K or something. So in general, we do have this pretty basic range going from 0.00017. That's the range high, going down to around 0.00012. So that's the range low. And we're basically just consolidating, moving sideways in this range. There's nothing really special about this chart, but if we're starting to break above the range high, holding it as support, maybe something like this, coming back down, this is going to be a very bullish sign. It's going to mean that we've exited this range. We're starting to exit this base that we formed, and it's a bullish basing pattern. And ultimately, we might start targeting some of these higher valuations, which will bring a lot of strength to the USD pair. So that's going to be a very key sign if this transpires. But if not, if we continue consolidating, that's just going to be basically the same performance as Bitcoin. So if we're starting to break down, though, if we're starting to retest these range lows, form lower lows, then to me, it's going to look like a longer term continuation of this downtrend. And most likely we have a little bit further to go before ultimately finding a bottom. So that's the end of my PYR analysis. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you have any comments, suggestions, or feedback, please do leave those below. And as always, I will see you in the next one.